The villagers of Sleepy Hollow had long whispered of the horseman, the restless revenant who rode with fire where his head should be. But few remembered the older curse, the one the elders spoke of only when cider had loosened their tongues and the wind began to move through the trees like something alive. They said the horseman was vengeance, but the hollow one was hunger. In the deepest grove of the old woods, where even the crows refused to roost, the soil was said to pulse like a black heart. No light touched that place, no prayer held meaning there. Beneath the gnarled roots of ancient oaks slept something sown in sin, a seed that drank from human fear and fed upon the blood of the harvest moon. And every 100 years, when the veil between worlds thinned to a breath and the pumpkins fattened under the dying sun, it grew restless. The wind carried the whisper, "He will rise." It began with rain, a midnight torrent that clawed the earth open. Lightning flashed, revealing a mound where the soil boiled and heaved. Then came the hand, gnarled, root-like, slick with mud and rot, followed by a shape dragging itself free from the womb of the ground. The creature's head was no skull, no flesh, but a pumpkin, vast, veined, and alive with pulsing firelight from within. Its grin was carved too deep, its teeth jagged like splintered bone. The eyes burned red, not with reflection, but with intent. The hollow one stood. Its laughter broke the storm, echoing like a crack in reality itself. The first sound it ever made was a mockery of joy, and the woods bent in reverence to its birth. By dawn, 3 farms were gone. The next morning, the fields grew strange. Vines blackened, fruit split open to reveal not seeds but teeth. Sleepy Hollow forgot in time, as mortals do, but the trees never forgot. Ichabod Crane had always believed himself a man of reason, though reason failed him often in the hollow. He heard the stories from the farmers, laughed them off, and yet found his steps quicken each night on the lonely road that wound through the forest. On the eve of All Hallows, he lingered too long at the Van Tassel feast, too enchanted by song and cider to remember that midnight meant danger. When he rode into the woods, the air had turned wrong, thick, metallic, and humming. Hooves thundered behind him. He thought it the horseman, but the sound was not hooves. It was heavier, wetter, like something dragging its weight through the mire. Lightning revealed a shape ahead. Not mounted, not human. A figure of rotting vines and tangled roots, its head burning with a witch's light, mouth twisted in that eternal grin. It watched him run. It laughed, a deep, choking sound that made the forest tremble. By dawn, Ichabod's horse returned to the village, wild-eyed and riderless. The path was smeared with black soil and something that looked like ash. Years passed, and new settlers came, drawn by the fertile ground of the valley. The hollow's name was shortened, softened, almost lost. But the earth remembers every drop of blood it's ever tasted. In the churchyard, pumpkins grew from graves. Their vines curled like fingers across the stones. On the first cold night of October, the candles in the windows burned blue. Dogs howled, and the crows gathered in unholy numbers along the rooftops. The air smelled of iron and decay. Then came the voice, low, drawn out, echoing through every street. Hollow one, orange skin, blackened sun. Those who followed the sound never returned. Those who hid still swear they saw him through the mist, towering, grinning, holding a lantern made from his own heart's flame. Beneath the red moon, the hollow one walked again. Lantern in hand, cloak of roots dragging behind him, he came to reap his due. The townsfolk prayed to God and the horseman both, but neither answered. The horseman, it was said, feared him, for even death cannot command what crawls from hell's garden. He moved through the fields, each step leaving fire and rot in his wake. He whispered names. He sang. Born of curses, born to bring fear and fire, death in bloom, dancing in the devil's gloom. And when he found the old graveyard, he stopped before a cracked headstone. The inscription had been worn away by time, but the earth still trembled beneath it. He knelt. The vines reached up, caressing his form like worshippers. The lantern flared, brighter, hungrier. Then, with one long exhale, he whispered to the soil, "Wake." The graves split open. By dawn, the hollow burned again. Every tree, every house, every soul. The crows rose black against the orange dawn, carrying the smoke of the dead on their wings. They buried what remained. They swore never to speak the name again. But every fall, when the wind stills and the fog curls like fingers through the town, someone hears it. A faint chuckle, a soft scrape, the flicker of a lantern in the distance. And if you listen closely beneath the rustle of dying leaves, you can still hear the song. Faint, mocking, eternal. When the wind goes still and the night gets deep, beware the vines that crawl and creep, for in the hollow he's still alive, and every autumn he will rise.